RSL Nation, welcome back to the Brews.
Welcome back.
There he is. That's the bro. I didn't see you all weekend, so
I did not see you either.
I guess the question begs, Marcos, how are you, bro?
Well, I didn't get any sun like you probably did, so I'm still same color. But it was good. It was 4th of July weekend, long weekend. We had parade, fireworks, barbecue, the whole shebang. So it's good time. But it's one of those long weekends that it goes by too fast sometimes.
What do you mean sometimes? All the time. All
All the
weekends.
time.
All weekends go by too fast.
Yeah, but how was it for you? How was your long, I guess, vacation?
Vacation. Anyone with children know that it's just there's no vacations when you're a parent. It's just taking care of your kids in a different place. So, but we had a fun time. We went to the pool. We went to the lake. We did a lot of stuff in the sun. I didn't get burned because I lathered my head. Look, I didn't. It's not even red.
I was expecting for a golden forehead to be just shining away.
Nope. But I will say, my children, all their little catushes were like really white with like a brown line where their swimming suits were. So they enjoyed the sun.
That's nice. That's nice.
But
I,
today was my Monday for work. So
yeah,
I'm like, whoa, I need a week to recover from the vacation.
it's okay. Tomorrow is Friday, and then you can do it all over again.
Oh, I don't want to do it all over again, but it's all right. I can't complain too much. Work was just fine. So good weekend. It was nice to be away, which I guess I should say thank you, because for all that didn't know, he's the one that was running the everything's social media this weekend. So if you have any issues, talk to him about it, because that wasn't me.
And might I say, you have a beautiful shirt on today.
Hey, so do you.
Oh, thank you.
Don't we look so cute? We're twinning.
We're twinning.
Bros are twinning. So Marcos was like, hey, we need some merch. And I'm like, well, I don't have money for that much merch. So let's just get one shirt each. So we just got a shirt each.
We got a shirt each. Why not? It looks beautiful on you.
It looks beautiful on you. You look great.
Yeah, your person's extra bald on your picture. I made him, so it's a good look.
And your dude looks like Johnny Bravo.
Hey, we both are rocking the flowy hair. Hey.
Oh my gosh.
In this episode, we have a lot to cover in this episode.
Yeah, we just wasted 5 minutes of 5 minutes that we could have talked about something soccer. So let's get right into it, because there's a lot.
As much as you guys want to hear about our good-looking cartoon characters on our shirts, I don't think you want to, but
no.
Let's dive first things first into last Saturday's match against Toronto, up north against our fellows of Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Exactly. So in this match, we had no Pablo Ruiz and no Gomez at all in the 18.
I was a little nervous when I saw that there was no Pablo Ruiz.
Yeah.
I can't remember. People are going to probably be like, are you even a real fan? I can't remember if he was on the injury report or not.
I want to say yes.
Maybe he was questionable.
I think he was as well. And then I think it was Gomez that didn't come because of personal reasons.
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah.
Personal reasons come up.
Yeah.
But
we've seen that this season.
It's true. But I was a little nervous because, I mean, Pablo's been having a good couple of games.
Exactly.
He had a good June, period. He had a great June.
Amazing June.
So it was I was kind of nervous because yes, Pablo's been our main defensive midfielder. So anyways, I was just nervous about that.
Yeah, so first half we had plenty of good chances to start off the match, and I was just feeling very, very happy about the way we came out. No surprise at all. We've been the road warriors thus far this season, so it was a good way to to take care of business thus far in the first half. But nothing was clicking. Nobody was finishing those chances.
It looked very like here's the thing. For me, we played really well. We were connecting. I mean, even the fancy tricksy stuff like behind the heel passes and whatnot, we were connecting. We were connecting,
Yeah.
but it was clumsy. It was, I can't say it was disorganized or unorganized because it wasn't. It
Yeah.
was just clumsy. There was a couple of hard touches where the ball just escaped. I mean, everyone had him. Sava had him. Luna had him. Adami, Masovsky, they all had him. So it was just hard touches everywhere. And I don't even think it was nerves either. But going back to the positives, we were playing. It looked like connected ball. Do you know
Yeah.
what it reminded me of?
What did it remind you of?
Ah, thank you for asking me the question. Um, it reminded me a little bit of 2013, 2014 RSL,
Yeah.
where we still had good players still connecting. This is obviously this roster we have right now is a huge improvement from last year, the year before, and the previous year. So this has a vibe of we are going to do something this season, and this is just another road game that's going to be tough for us.
Yeah, I can see that. If we go back into the RSL vault of good teams, that was a good one. Of course, that was the team that lost in the 13 MLS Cup, but that was a good team that had always good possession with Javi and everybody else in the midfield. So I can see that kind of similarities in this one as well.
I felt the jiving. I really
Hmm.
did.
Yeah.
It was where especially Ojeda. I don't know why, but Ojeda he felt like he was a strong defensive midfielder in this Toronto game where he was distributing, he was making runs, creating spaces along with Luna. Sava seemed a little off, but he was still creating. Musovsky was making his normal runs. Um, in fact, we'll get to it, but the second half, there was a run made by Musovsky and Sava, I think, where Ojeda tried
Hmm.
to lay a dime for Musovsky. It was just a little bit too far, which there I was like, ooh, if only we had Pablo Ruiz.
Exactly. Exactly. You mentioned Ojeda just a second ago. Ojeda and Loffelson, of course, started because of Pablo Ruiz. Do you feel like both of those two are kind of just literally just fighting for their lives for playing spots? Because obviously with Nelson Palacio getting picked up, because we probably we're not going to see Loffelson at all getting playing time.
Look, I said this last episode. I feel so bad for Pablo Mastroeni. I
Oh yeah.
really do, because now finally the past 2 months we have our defensive midfielders starting to click, starting to figure out how to play really well,
Exactly.
and this game shows that you can put Lawfulson, Ojeda, Ruiz, Lawfulson. You could triangle them, switch them around, and
Hmm.
you'll still get good, solid results. Now throw in Palacio in there, and Palacio brings in probably another dynamic that we're gonna have to figure out where to where and when to put him.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I was really happy with Ojeda's play. Um,
Hmm.
during this whole game. But this first half seemed very frustrating in the sense that for me, the only opportunities that Toronto had were off of our mistakes.
Yeah. They were kind of, I guess, parking the bus and just waiting for that one little slip up, and then they go pounce. Because in the first half, it didn't really seem like Bernadeschi and Insigne were there. I think they had maybe one or two chances, but never could have any good shots on frame.
Right. Insignia is one that disappointed probably most for me. I
Yeah.
mean, we're talking about a guy that was a leading goal scorer in Serie A,
Hmm.
with his team in Italy. He comes here and we put Anelli against him. I mean, Anelli is a draft pick. He played for the Monarchs to start the season. He got in April. He
Yeah.
started playing on the first team in April, and he brought it on. He gave Insigne some competition, and in fact, so much so that Insigne had to be subbed off.
Yeah, this is probably a bold move on me saying this, but I think this is probably one of our better games from our back line this season because Agnelli kept up with the strikers of Toronto and just was just pushing them and just nobody could get past them. And then same with Vera. Vera was a junkyard dog and just he was a menace. Nobody wanted to get close to him.
Well, I want to talk about a certain play in the second half, but I want to finish off this first half
Yeah.
by we still had there was a play by Loffelson Musovski. Loffelson steals the ball in the offensive half, um, and it's a 2-on-1 with him and Musovski. Do you remember that play?
Yeah, I do.
Loffelson runs it into the area and crosses it. Where here's my thoughts when Loffelson is inside the box. I think shoot.
Oh
Your
yeah.
number one is shoot. He was maybe at the same line or maybe a little bit behind the penalty line.
Hmm.
So the penalty area.
Yeah.
Right there, you just launch a shot. I mean, you're hoping for back post or something, but he chose for the cross, which is not a bad option. But his pass across was a little bit behind Musovski. One that's super frustrating because if you're gonna make a bad pass, you better just might as well take the shot. But
Exactly.
second off, I think, and this is me because all y'all know that I'm a referee at heart. I think that Moose might have been offside though.
I'll have to rewatch that part again because I don't remember fully whether he was or wasn't. But like you mentioned, it was one of those where he needs to just kick that on frame.
I,
Just don't go for the cross. Just go for that shot.
I wonder if it was because of lack of confidence.
You think so? Just because just all of a sudden now he's getting the starts. He's just not really used to that because he hasn't really before because I can't remember if he was getting the starts when he was with LAFC.
Oh, I'm talking about Lawfulson. I'm not
Oh,
talking about Moose.
oh.
I, I'm talking about Lawfulson's lack of confidence. Moose, he did what he could. The ball was like a half a yard behind him. That's tough, especially when you're running.
Hmm.
So I think Lawfulson's for me. I think he needs a little bit more confidence to be able to just take that shot, just own it, because you're not going to get that chance again. Just own the flipping shot, because for me, it seems like that he. How do I word this without sounding way too mean? It almost seems like he didn't want to take the blame for making a bad shot, so he wanted to pass it instead. I don't know if that's the truth. That's probably something I would think. But I think take the shot. And because the shot wasn't taken, because the pass was bad, we ended scoreless the first half.
Yeah, yeah, but like you mentioned before, Insigne had to come off due to injury. That's what the reports were saying. And
I think the
I,
only injury was his ego. I mean, come on,
I'm not
you
I'm not
you're
scoring as many goals as I was with Napoli.
well, you're a world class player, and you get beat by a first year rookie,
Yeah.
who started the season off in the second division of the United States. I mean, come on.
And mind you, the player that came on for Insigne, he's only 19 years old, so very, very young kid having to replace a world-renowned player. So that's a lot of pressure on that kid's back for Marshall Rudy.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Well, also Toronto decided 19 years old, that's not young enough. They also put in Stefanovic, who is 17 years old. So
16.
16, that's right, because in the broadcast they're like, he's 17 in 3 weeks, and they're like, well, that sounds better if he's 16. So yes, 16 years old. So that was crazy. But in the second half, you saw for me, I saw a lot more controlled possession and more a thorough attack from RSL, especially at the beginning of that second half. It was we looked dangerous. We already looked dangerous throughout the whole first
Yeah.
half. We looked more dangerous in the second half because, well, for me, I can't even say because I'm not the coach, but I think it's because we started saying, hey, this is not a good team. We're controlling this. Let's
Yeah.
get going. And so we started
Do
putting
you
more pressure.
do you feel like, yes, obviously, like it was building off what we did in the first half, but do you feel like maybe a part of it has to do with who Toronto used for their subs, using such young players? Because mind you, yes, they did a sub right out of halftime, and then they did the 56th, the 57th, and then 64th. So that's four subs right there, right before we even use one.
Um, that is a great question. I'm not sure. I mean, we could speculate and say, yeah, because they've put in two teenagers
Yeah.
that might not have a lot of experience. Yeah, that's probably why we were able to control a little bit more. But then it begs the question, why weren't we able to do much more then? Um, we didn't let off the gas pedal at all. It just seemed that we weren't connecting as well on some things, on some shots. Like I remember one where I can't remember the whole play, but the end result was Luna getting a similar shot, um, similar shot that he had for his goal.
Hmm.
It was right footed, and it should have been a curler, but like he right footed it and like snuffed it, and it like went straight to the keeper, and you're like, hmm, this is weird. Why is it not working? It's like when you're playing FIFA and you're like, you press square, you press to shoot right at the same time you always do to score, and you don't score. You're like,
Story of my life. Story of my
sorry,
life when I play.
against me, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's what it felt like. It's like you if you're playing FIFA, you're doing all the things right. You're pressing all the right buttons, you're making all the right runs, making the right
Mm,
passes. It just wasn't they weren't finishing.
yeah.
And that's the same thing that Pablo's been saying the whole season. It's it's the finishing. The play is there. The work rate is there. It's the finishing.
But in the 74th minute, that's kind of when I feel things kind of switched into gear for us, because we took out Loflison, we took out Musovski, and we brought in Julio and Bodie, who obviously Anderson doesn't really see that much playing time, that not that much off the bench. But this was for me kind of vintage Anderson Julio, when he's been like that super sub for us.
This is where Julio really shines.
Hmm.
This is the last 15, 20 minutes is his time where he has the best opportunities. Um, he's not a full length player. He's not a full length game player. He's a give
Super
me
sub.
give me your 15 minutes of you running your butt off and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
And that's what it seemed like. It was that last 15 minutes where the team just went to town. They're just like, you know what? Let's go. But
Yeah.
but the scary part was the whole between 83rd and 89th minute, we actually weren't controlling the game. And that's where I thought we were gonna lose it on some fluke goal.
Yeah, yeah, because 83rd is when we do two more subs for us. We take out Luna, which I'm like, I wanted to see Luna go a full 90, because he's only gone a full 90 once with us this season. And then likewise, we took out Krylock, and we brought in Elijah Paul and Yakison. So we bring in two, or at that point we'll have all three of our rookies in. We have Anelli, Yakison, and Paul. So I was very nervous. I
And
thought
and Ber- and Berton.
Oh yeah, that's correct. Yeah, at that point, I felt as if Pablo was just parking the bus and we were just going for the 1 point. So I was like, no, this is not the way we need to be going out with this game.
Yeah, well, and then the next all the way until the 90th minute, that's what it seemed like because
Hmm.
because of the new subs that came in, Paul and Yakison, um, it just seemed there wasn't as good of connection because well, these guys don't have a lot of first team minutes, so
Yeah.
their connections aren't as good as clean. Um, but I mean, thankfully, their effort was rewarded, but literally rewarded in the last couple minutes. Um, it was an Anelli who could no, it was a Jackson
to
attempted cross.
to
It was a
Paul.
it was Paul to Yakison. Yakison attempted to cross it, hits the behind of the Toronto guy. Keeper
and then
blocks.
and then
And Ellie
Julio.
and Nelly is sitting right there. He's like, "Oh, thanks for the gift." Crosses it over to Paul. Paul shoots, deflects off of the monstrous defensive back that they have. Who was it? It was a Mabika. Mabika is huge. He's
He
he's
he
our
is a
Vera.
he's 6'5", mind you, 6'5".
It almost looked like it seemed like he was like the second goalkeeper, legit. Like all he was doing was like all he had to do was stand in front of the goal and he occupied half the space.
Yeah, he literally just stood there. Ball just drills him, and then Anderson Julio gets the ball. He's like, "Thank you, I'll take
Like,
that," and just buries that.
boom.
So something you would not, I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card. Having three rookies help set up a game-winning goal in the 90 plus minute, but we'll take it. That was a great finish, and it was a much needed point because of much needed 3 points actually. But that because we had so many chances throughout this game, but it comes down to the very last minute. Back-to-back games where we're having 90 plus minute goals.
I mean, this is great. I mean, I I may just finish it off with this. Like it was just great. It was great effort. It was a great dig. It wasn't the way we wanted the result, but man, it was a team effort to make sure we got those 3 points because I don't feel like we did many things wrong. The things that I
No,
mentioned that we did wrong was I mean hard first touches, hard second touches, and then the shooting just seemed a little bit bleh. But
I
we
think with
played fine.
having the players that we had out in this game with no Ruiz, obviously no Gomez and other players as well. I think it was a job well done. Moving forward, there needs to be a talk on finishing those chances, but overall, good job. Here's a little stat for you. RSL is unbeaten in the last 10 road games in all competitions. The last team to do that, do you know which team that was?
I think you told me in our text messages, but can't remember.
The last team to do that, the 2013 Portland Timbers.
Oh, 10 years.
10 years. So that is very impressive. So we are the Road Warriors, very dominant, impressive.
Um, Also, before we leave this game, I do want to say that our two center backs remind me of another two center backs that we had 10 years ago
Would it be the names
with
of Olave and Borchers?
with the exact same nationalities. Um, I got weird Olave vibes from Vera, like weird. I was like, oh my gosh, I've seen this before. It
Yeah.
was like the weirdest feeling, I promise you. Like there was one play
For,
where
it was I think it was the second half. I think it was the second half for me when Vera was just literally just boom.
he he like it was like a shoulder check. It was shoulder to shoulder, but Vera. Oh, in
I'm
fact,
like,
what it was against wasn't it against Sapong, wasn't it, or
no,
was
no,
it
I,
against?
I think it was. I want to say it was Sapong. It,
But
it was
it
what?
was, it was it was against someone else about the same size as him, and it was just boom, and then he takes the ball and starts running the other way. I'm like.
Yeah. I had to like take my imaginary glasses. I'm like, Olave, is that you?
Like literally all we need is for Glad to grow a beard and you have Borchers and Olave again. legit. I think we should ask Glad to grow a beard.
Okay, next time.
There we go. That's all I wanted to say.
That's kind of in my opinion, I'm partially moved on from Marcelo Silva just mainly because of age, because he doesn't give that same intensity, that same vibe that both Glad and Vera give.
Not anymore. He had it. He
Yeah,
had it.
yeah, yeah. Like vintage, like maybe like 5 years ago of Silva, he was that hustle player. He was doing what Glad is doing now and finishing chances, but not as much now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because we all love Marcelo. Marcelo's a good guy.
Oh yeah.
But man, Vera and Glad is now our Borchers Olave. Write
Yeah.
it down. Like literally, these guys are gonna save us, and we're gonna go to MLS Cup with them.
And what's good is they're both very young still, so
Boy, yeah, they are. Vera with the 24 years old and Glad 26. Heck yes.
so young center backs for us. So kudos to Elliot for finding Vera. But let's move on. We got some Gold Cup to recap for everybody.
Ooh, and it's literally gonna be a recap because holy crap.
Holy crap.
Hola.
Because our man Rubio Rubin. Can we give an applause to Rubio Rubin? Two goals. He had the brace in a beautiful win for Guatemala against Guadeloupe to secure the victory. So Guatemala moves on to the knockout round to play Jamaica, and they
It's
and they won their group too.
yeah, I was gonna say it's not just moved on. They won their group.
They won their group. They went from I think like third place to hop up to first place.
Yeah, and to be above Canada, I mean, but Canada did the same thing as the US. They brought their second team.
Every country did so.
Not Mexico. Mexico's like, we're gonna win this.
But I'm happy to see Rubio Rubin do so well, scoring 2 goals. But unfortunately, they have to go against a very tough Jamaica team on Sunday. So hopefully, all the best for Guatemala. But
Better yet, all the best for Rubin.
yes,
Because if they lose to Jamaica, fine, but we want him to play well.
yeah, absolutely. But for the US of A, in their group, they did win their group. No, I guess no surprise there for some people. So USA, they get a rematch against Canada, who they literally just played a couple weeks ago in their knockout game.
Oh, Canada. Sorry, that's gonna be one of those. Anytime you mention Canada, I'm just gonna just sing that song.
I like it. But just announced, I believe yesterday, Sonora for the U.S. men's national team. He picked up an injury, so he is not going to be continuing. So Jackson Ewell for the San Jose Earthquakes will be replacing Sonora. We had a lot of discussion. We had this on our Twitter yesterday about how I put out there that Luna, he got snubbed. Obviously, we know that he wasn't on the preliminary roster, but there is talks that we think that he should. What are your thoughts on that one?
I got a couple of thoughts. One, I'm gonna surprise you with the pronunciation of Sonora. It's not Sonora. It's Sonora. Just so you know,
There we go.
because he's not Mexican. He's not Sonora. He's Argentine. Sonora. Anyways, also
I learn something new every day, I guess. Thank you.
second, Sonora for me should have never been on this team. Should never have ever touched the U.S. national team jersey.
There,
He's
there
he's
there's a
not that
lot
good.
there's a lot of players, in my opinion, on this Gold Cup roster who shouldn't have been called up.
Absolutely. So that's thought number two. Thought number three, Jackson Newell. Jackson Newell is part of the um the Berhalter bunch. I wanted to call it the Brady bunch. The Berhalter bunch. Like Berhalter always calls him up. Why?
Yeah.
No clue. Um, some people were arguing when we say that Luna should be called, because we all want Luna to be called, period. We all want it.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, like you said, he wasn't in the preliminary roster, so therefore he could not have been selected at all for this cup.
Yeah.
But someone was saying that Yule and Luna played two different positions. But someone also said, does Luna really know exactly what position he plays? Because he plays everywhere.
He does.
I mean, give
He'll
this
jump around.
exactly. Give this Toronto game an example. He was supposed to be a winger, but you saw him in the middle. You saw him drop back as a defensive midfielder. You saw him up as a forward. He was everywhere. So, I mean, I think I would have, I would rather use Luna, who's a Swiss Army knife in the midfield, than Jackson Ewell, who has produced quote unquote more minutes, but less stats and less impact on his team.
I don't think you remember this, but the last time Ewell, I might be wrong, but the last time Ewell actually did play for the U.S. men's national team, I believe, was 2 years ago. 2 years ago. So
Who is coach?
obviously, Berhalter.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
So yeah, like going off of what you said, I would want Luna just for this main fact of if you want to grow this team, you go for the younger guys. You go for so they can gain experience. I feel like you will just can't he can't really keep up with these other guys. He doesn't have like
Well,
that speed and the tenacity like Luna has.
like I'm not going to get into that side of it, but I'm
Yeah,
going to get into the why was Sargent called up? Why was Pulisic called up? Why was McKinney, Adams? Why were all these young guys called up? Because they showed a lot of potential in the U20s or in their club team, which Pulisic had the blessing to just start off in Europe. He didn't
yeah,
have to go through MLS academies. He was already in Europe in the academies over there
yeah,
with Borussia Dortmund.
yeah,
But I think it was Chelsea actually, Chelsea, and then he went over. But
yeah.
the same. Well, Adams, he was young with the New York Red Bulls. He played maybe a year. Yeah, I can't remember now. He's already getting old. He played a year maybe with the first team, and then he got sent over to Europe. But you have players like Luna who were quote unquote players of the tournament for the
Mhm.
US,
Yeah.
and yet you're calling up people like Caldwell, who scored maybe 2 goals, I think, during that whole tournament, didn't really impress too much. Um, so it begs the question: is the U.S. national team just a friends club? Is it just political? If you're not with the in team or the in group, are you gonna get called up?
It seems that way to me as well. Seems kind of like a popularity contest. If you are doing this well, then here you go. Here's your right to come play on our team.
But Luna is doing well. He's matching all of Jackson Newell's stats right now. In fact better on some of those.
Yeah.
Again, we know he wasn't on the preliminary roster, but you can't tell me that they didn't put Luna on because he just played the U20 World Cup, because Caldwell just played the U20 World Cup. He hasn't played for his club since beginning of May, because he went from U20 World Cup, took a rest, then went to the senior national team.
Hmm.
So what's the excuse?
Yeah.
I
Who
mean,
knows?
don't I mean, people, don't push my buttons, because I will go to town on you, because
Yeah.
I I think we've seen enough US national team games and news to know that this federation is very political. It's if you don't know someone, you're not going to get called up. You're not going to get a position. You're not going to get whatever. It, people will say, people who have been in there will say, no, it's not that way. But from the outside, it totally looks like that. Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's no way to improve and become better if the US men's national team is gonna just stay this way. Because how are we gonna be able to compete next year in Copa America if we're not having some of these younger guys get called up?
That, and also, like I've always said, if you're not having your same first team players playing the same tournament all the tournaments together, because we literally have 2 different USA teams. How are you going to figure out who's going to go to Copa America next year?
You know,
If what if you have freak injuries and you have like 3 or 4 injuries? You have to bring on people from the B team to start, and those B team players aren't up to speed as the A team players, etc. Maybe I'm exaggerating.
no,
I'm probably am exaggerating, but I need consistency because all the big nations have consistency.
no, I see where you're coming from. It is kind of a tough thing to look at, but we'll see how well Jackson Ewell can keep up with Canada. And I guess if they do advance and move on to the next round, that'll be an interesting thing. Whether he does get the start, if he does come off the bench, what's going to happen?
I mean, he'll probably get injured on the bench just like Sonora did. Sonora probably broke his butt from sitting on the bench for too long. So this is me with a tude, man. Sorry, I'm all out. Watch out.
That's why if you guys probably saw on my Twitter, not that I hate the U.S. men's national team, but I'm being kind of optimistic. That's why my prediction, I'm going for a Panama Jamaica final for that.
You keep dreaming.
I
It's
I'm
good.
gonna I am gonna keep dreaming because in my opinion, I don't want to see a U.S. Mexico.
It's not gonna be U.S. Mexico. It's gonna be a U.S. Jamaica or a U.S. Costa Rica. I bet you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Mexico's not gonna get past Costa Rica. If they do, they're not gonna get past Jamaica.
Yeah, it'll be more entertaining to watch the fights in the stands than the actual match for Mexico.
Oh, let's not even get into the Mexican fans. Oh,
Yeah.
please. Oh man, I'd be surprised if after this tournament, FIFA allows Mexico to play with fans.
Yeah. That last, if you guys haven't already seen the clip of it, but it was a scary, sad sight to see in the last match for Mexico, a fan getting stabbed by a knife. But who
Ah,
who knows? Things need to change drastically with CONCACAF in all aspects.
speaking of changes, though, um,
Yes, nice.
we might.
I like the transition there.
I'm really good at transitioning, by the way. They need to like hire me at like channel 2, channel 4, channel 5. I'm really good at the news, just transitioning.
You are.
Or I could transition like Michael Scott and be like, speaking of birds, what's to eat today? What?
Vroom. But
You got caught on my transition. There we go.
yeah,
Okay,
I'm
keep going.
waiting. I'm waiting for what you were saying.
Oh, so it's my transition. Okay, fine. Let's do this. So more transfer news for RSL
Yes.
because we can't get enough Colombians. We're gonna stop getting Colombians.
Dang, I want more.
More Colombians.
Yeah, I want Cuadrado next.
Oh, that's a he's old. I don't want him. I want Falcao. No,
I want James.
I want James. So rumor has it that a player by the name of George Bello is a possible signing coming up for RSL. It's not confirmed. Today, I think on ESPN 700, Spencer Checa was talking to Pablo Mastroeni
Mhm.
about this. Pablo said he's been talking with George, but nothing is confirmed. Let's just say nothing is official, but the name
It's not
George Bell is
it's
ringing.
not official until it's on paper. So of course, George Bello, he did come through the academy with Atlanta United. If you guys remember, I did post the highlight clip of George Bello. He scored I think his only goal in MLS at the age of 16. So he has some experience. He's been playing, I believe, he's been playing over in Germany, was it?
That's a great question. Yes, Armenia Bielefeld. If
Because
all y'all know that name,
his team just got relegated.
yes. But if you all know that name,
I do
it's
not. I do not.
it's a Blitzer club.
That makes sense. Okay. So
see?
I think that's why it's coming together. Why it's going to be an easier pickup to bring on George Bello.
There you
Okay.
go. He does have U.S. national experience. He was with the U17s, and then he has some senior level experience. He played 7 games, so he has 7 caps.
He did win. I don't. It wasn't. Was it the last? I think he won the last Gold Cup with the U.S. men's national team. He was on that roster.
Now you have me searching. Now you have me double searching.
He, he,
21.
he
21.
yeah. He was on that roster with the for the last win for the Gold Cup. So he plays left back, which right now, as we have as our left back, is Oviedo, and I guess
Brody.
and Brody. So if this is official, bringing on George Bello, do you see him as a starter or more coming off the bench?
If we do sign him,
Mhm.
he will play in League's Cup.
Yeah, I could see that.
Depending on what happens in League's Cup, and obviously depending on what happens outside of game time, so practices and whatnot, we could see him take over Brody, which would be really tough because, again, I would hate to be Pablo because right now, all of a sudden, the team is clicking without these new signings ever touching the field.
See, I disagree because if this is official, I would go Bello on the left back, have Vera Glad in the middle, and then have Brody on the left because Brody can play left.
Stop.
That's more of his.
Stop. Did you say Bello on the left?
Sorry, I meant yeah, Bello on the left and then Brody on the right.
Okay. Don't scare me like that. I was like, you're going to play 2 left backs? Oh, man. That's a weird lineup.
I'm saying left and I meant right.
So Brody does he has played right back before, which does beg the question of, do you put Brody over Anelli? You
At
see?
at the moment, no, I would go a Nelly, but the only reason I would go Brody is just because of experience, but it's not that much.
Um I would go Brody. In fact,
Okay.
if we were to sign Bello, it'd be a Bello, Vera, Glad, Brody backline,
Okay.
which this also has a weird vibe of a winger Olave Borchers
Beltran.
Beltran
I see that.
backline.
I see that because I Bello is about like 5'9", 5'10" ish.
Great
Or I think
question. Bob gives me in centimeters.
but from what I when I was looking, I believe he's like around like 5'8", 5'9". So he is around like the same size of Beltran when he was with our club. So a very small defender.
I'm just saying that it seems like we're starting to get a 10-year anniversary of the last best team that RSL's had.
So if you think of any other similarities that bring back 2013,
We have
we need
we have an Argentine in the midfield.
we need similar goalkeeper. That's what's next.
Both were Americans. I mean, what else do you want?
Can we bring
But
back Jason Christ next too?
well, he is out of a job.
So
So no, but I think we're fine with Pablo for right now. But yes, George Bello, rumor, not official, could be coming. He is a pure left back. No changing.
I I think this would be a great pickup on our defense because we just got a striker, we just got a midfielder. What would top cherry on top would be a defender, and then I'd be happy.
And not only that, a young one. He'd be another a U22 signing.
Yeah, and yes, he only had like a few years here in the MLS, but he has experience, so he knows what to expect in the MLS. And he was playing on a very good Atlanta United team as well.
The one with what's his bucket?
Joseph
Um,
Martinez, Almiron,
Almiron, flipping Piti.
PP.
and coach. What's
And Tata.
his name? And Tata. There we go.
Yeah.
So
So
very good.
he was very well coached.
He was. So very exciting. Another exciting thing going on. But because all this is happening, we also have Leagues Cup coming up as well.
We do. And if you guys saw on our Twitter, and I slash threads.
Don't forget threads. Don't forget it.
Threads is like the little brother now, right?
Just like you.
Just like me. But with Leagues Cup that starts in 2 weeks, I believe. Yeah, 2 weeks. MLS comes out with their bracket challenge, which is like soccer's version of March Madness.
Yeah. Like
Because who doesn't love brackets?
oh, I love brackets. In fact, yeah, I really love brackets. Except there weren't 64 teams to play around with. There were only.
Yeah, I think is March Madness, something like that.
Oh yeah, it's true. The playing games.
But still, you have 3 teams in each group for Leagues Cup, top 2 advance, and then go on to knockout play. So if you guys are not part of our little group that we made for bracket play for Leagues Cup, join. It's gonna be fun.
Yes, because apparently, this dude always seems to beat me on March Madness, like
I do.
every single time. So this is gonna be really intense. Also, I have a question for you. At the,
I hope I have an answer.
I mean, you will, but at the very end of filling out the bracket, they ask you how many goals will be scored in the entire tournament. What
Did
did
you
you
look at it?
put?
Did you see how many I put?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Well, I was trying to do the math here. Try to follow my math. I was like,
okay.
there's
Count how many groups there are, first of all.
how many groups were there?
I want to say they go to the letter. Do they go to the letter J or
J?
I? I want to say I.
How many is that?
A, B.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. No, it's like 10 groups. It's like J.
Okay, so that's 30 teams.
All right, so stop. I'm not even gonna go with 30 teams. I'm gonna go with how many games are in each group. There's 6 games in each group
Yeah.
because each team plays 2.
Yeah.
So 6 games for 10 groups. That's 60 games right there. That's just group play. 60 in group play. If you average maybe 2 goals per game, multiply that by 2, so that's 120. That's 120 just in group play. Then you have playoffs. And I'm saying average 2 goals. There could be like 4 or 5 goals per.
So just from you saying that alone, let's just say my prediction for my goal total is a lot less than that, because when I was making my, I guess, prediction for goals, I wasn't really thinking about knockout. I was more thinking of like, if you base it off of how many goals are scored a week for MLS, it's usually around like the 40-ish range. So I'm like, okay. So my prediction, I put 110.
110. You're gonna have the most boring Leagues Cup ever. What did I put?
I'm gonna have a lot of. I'm going for a lot of ties and penalty shootouts then.
Yeah, seriously. I think mine was above 250.
Don't worry, I will be changing mine after this episode.
You have until the 21st, everyone, to not only you do your bracket, but to join us and to edit just like Marcus is gonna do.
Just like every bracket that I do, I will be switching my winner probably every day.
And just so you know, I'm letting everyone else know, Marcos, you can only have one bracket. Only one bracket. I will know.
If we find out you did more than one bracket, we will kick you out.
Oh, I don't care about everyone else. I care about you. You don't do multiple brackets, cheater. Anyways, Leagues Cup.
It's Leagues Cup. Join our group. March Madness of soccer.
March Madness of soccer.
But hey, we have RSL has a game this Saturday. Did you know that?
Oh my gosh, yes they do.
They do have a game right behind me right here, and I don't know if you remember this, but it's the debut of the one and only. It's Chicho time.
It's Chicho time.
It's Chicho time.
No. Do you know what I'm doing?
Hashtag.
Oh, the way you do it, why you putting the fingers together? It's spread it apart like that. What is this? Someone doesn't watch the late night show.
That's past my bedtime if I'm watching a late show.
Yeah, it is, Grandpa. Once the what is it? How Big Whammy? What is it?
That's
Do you remember
past
the game show network where it's like big bucks, no whammies, and stop?
and stop. Oh yeah.
There you go, whammy. After that show finishes, you go to bed.
It's probably facts. Probably true.
Facts.
But we have a match Saturday back here at AFF against Orlando. So a little on Orlando. They, if you don't already know, they have the best away record out of all teams in the Eastern Conference. So we have the best in the West away record. They're the best in the East. But unfortunately, this is not an away game for us.
No, and this is where it's gonna get tough. On top of that record that you just said, well, we put out a tweet asking, where's my phone? I'm like trying to find my phone everywhere. We put out a tweet asking what y'all think about the streak that both teams are on.
Mhm.
So the poll was, oh my goodness, why are you tweeting so much today, bro? This is me. This is definitely improv, by the way, everyone. Trying to find it. Here we go. So I said, who comes into this game with more positive momentum and why? No one wanted to give us a why, but everyone said that RSL, has the most positive momentum. What do you think?
I'm gonna have to disagree with RSL Twitterverse. I'm gonna have to go with Orlando. Um, if you look at records, if you look at points, both teams are very similar. And Orlando is kind of riding that momentum. They played a 4th of July game on Tuesday, a 4-0 win
I guess
against,
the same Toronto team that we barely squeaked out a win.
like, yes, it was Toronto. Yes, they're bottom of the East, but still, 4-0 against any team is impressive enough.
Yes. They have a lot of players that let's just say worry me.
Yeah. And that's something that they have 7 players who, not 7 players, they have 2 players who are at 7 goals.
2 players at 7 goals. Not cool, for
No.
one. Number two, they both played on Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of their goal scorers who is at 7 goals, Maguire, he is only a rookie. So young player.
Yes, in fact, our guest from a couple episodes ago, this is his favorite player. Did you know that?
I do recall that him saying that.
He said it, and he also tweeted it out yesterday or today that Maguire is his favorite player right now, favorite young player. So I'm not too thrilled about this one.
No, not at all. They do play a similar lineup just like us, kind of in that 4-4-2. So
Well,
so
they played a 4-2-3-1.
yeah.
But again, well, it's similar but not, because right now we're playing a 4-4-2. We're putting 2 forwards up top, which we'll get to what we think our lineup will look like. But
Yeah.
I'm kind of iffy on it.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same way. That usually I feel very confident going into home matches, but I don't know. There's something about this Orlando team that just kind of is screaming out trap game to me.
This is what happened to me with this game. I think Orlando, because I've been focused on so much on RSL, flew under the radar for me.
Yeah, same.
And so I didn't think that they were this good until last week when I started paying attention because this game was coming up. I'm like, oh crap. this team has Maguire, has Torres, has Araujo, has Gallese, the goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
And this keeper is a starter for the Peruvian
Or
national team.
yeah.
I mean,
If you look at Orlando's goals, they're at 32 goals, 23 against. They're at a +9. Whereas you look at us, we're at 26 and 31 for goals. So it's
we're
like
only
you
5 behind.
only 5 behind, but what kind of shocked me, I guess I haven't really been keeping track of the East. They're above Atlanta, who has been kind of killing it, and they're right behind Philly.
But if you think about it, reverse it. They're probably thinking the same thing about us. They're like, oh, we didn't know that RSL was 4th in the West. Last time we saw they were 11th. So I'm just
Facts.
saying.
True. It's true.
Let's just hope that they think the reverse and they come into this game a little freaked out. But now it begs the question, who is going to start this game for RSL?
Let's start with the defense. So I see us going with I'm gonna go Brody, Vera, Glad, Anelli. I'm feeling similar backline as last game, and then obviously McMath in goal. And then this
Okay.
is where it gets kind of interesting. So we're not gonna have Nelson Palacio.
Yeah,
Nelson Palacio.
let's clarify that because there's a lot of questions regarding that. Nelson
So
Palacio is not playing
so
this game.
yes, he's here. Yes, he's training with the team, but he's not gonna be actually making his debut until next Saturday against New York Red Bulls. So in the midfield, I see possibly Pablo Ruiz. Obviously, he is questionable for
No,
Saturday's game.
he's probable,
Probable.
which makes
So
it better.
probable. So I'm gonna put question mark. So Pablo Ruiz right there, and then we'll go Ojeda, and then Gomez questionable. So
But who would you, if Gomez were to play, who would you put in his spot, or who would you?
replace.
Yeah, who would you replace?
Um, in my opinion, I would go maybe Sava on that side on Gomez's spot, and then put Luna on that left side.
So you're saying just start the way that we did against Toronto. Put Sava on the right, Luna on the left.
Yeah, but then the attack gets interesting. This is where we're going to see the debut of Chicho, and then who would you go Musovski, or would you go Julio, or would you go Krylock?
In order of preference, it'd be Moose, Krylock, Julio.
Yeah, I agree there. And yes, those two did play together for LAFC. Like they have that chemistry. So we'll see if they can be on the same wavelength.
Well, and so then it also we like to beg the question here. So let's beg the question. Will Chicho go full 90?
I'm gonna say no because it's his first game with a club with his new club. I wouldn't want to risk any injuries at all.
Because if we look back at his Major League Soccer career, um, very few times he went 90.
Yeah,
Well, when I say very few, he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 games 90. Everything else he went anywhere between 60 and 80.
yeah,
So you could be seeing a Julio Krylock replacement.
yeah. So who knows? Like ideally, it would be nice to see Chicho put on a show and go a full 90. But just the fact that we get Chicho alone making his debut at home is gonna be a good sign for fans to see on Saturday night.
Yes, and so speaking of Saturday night, let's just talk about where we're gonna be, what we're gonna do. Um, I mean,
Give
Chicho's not the only one making debuts.
Yeah, I was gonna say that there's another person coming to make their debut on Saturday night. So this is gonna be the first time RSL fans that guy up there he is making his debut with me. So we get the two RSL bros together at a match. Is it? I'm not sure if you're crying or what are you doing there?
No. I'm doing the Hercules. The crowd goes wild, and then all of a sudden Peggy says, spitting water.
You, my friend, have been watching too much Disney Plus.
I must have little children.
No, but Alan and I will be together first RSL match together this season. So if you want to see us prior to the match, we'll both be where are we going to be? We're going to be at the tailgate.
Well, we're gonna start off at the tailgate. If you guys
We'll
are
go
too
start.
boring, we're gonna go over to the plaza.
So find us there. We might come kick some soccer balls around, come talk to you guys. Maybe we might come steal your food at the tailgate. Who knows?
Or, I mean, if we don't steal your food, we're definitely gonna be asking and be like, "Hey, that hot dog looks really good."
No, but if you see us, come say hi because we want to get to know all of you guys and see and hear your love for RSL just like us.
Heck yeah, heck yeah.
Awesome. It's gonna be a fun time. This is gonna be a awesome atmosphere because as well on the east side over there, prior to the match at 6 o'clock, just like they did a couple weeks ago for Chicho, make sure you guys are there. Nelson is gonna be doing autographs. So take advantage of that. That'll be a fun experience to see Nelson Palacio get some pictures, get some autographs, and see him prior
And
to.
pay attention to Twitter because we'll do a little 10-minute pregame, a live Twitter live. We're just gonna talk real quick about our sensations about the game, what we feel once we're at the stadium, once we see people warming up. We're gonna give you live just 10 minutes worth of our feelings, and then we're gonna cut it and we're gonna go game time.
It's game time. That's awesome. This is exciting times. The bros are back.
We've been here the whole time. That's a lie. We barely started in May, so I guess we have to say again, thank you to everyone that follow us because without you guys, we're gonna do this anyways. So
Hey, but my friend, we cannot finish any episode. We got to finish it the correct way.
yes, we do.
It is prediction time. Prediction time.
All right, you sang it. We're fine. I danced. We're good. I'm gonna start guessing because you guessed last time first. So I'm gonna just get right into it before you even start talking.
As long as you don't take my prediction because I think I've taken your past two.
Okay, here we go. This is mine. This is gonna be a real tough battle. One, we're struggling at home. Two, Orlando is really good on the road. I think we should treat this like a road game. And I think my prediction is going to be we're going to win 2-1. We are going to win 2-1, and Chicho is going to score. Oh.
I like it. I like it. I've been going back and forth with this one because I'm like, yes, we'll have Chicho at home. Yes, it's Orlando. They're mid. But give me a 2-0 win. Give me a 2-0 win for RSL. We're gonna get a shutout. Chicho's gonna make his debut. He's gonna get a goal. Fans are gonna go crazy. Fans are gonna go wild for him. It's gonna be a good sight
Oh
at
man,
the Riot.
this is going to be if all this stuff happens, I think there might be a tear in my eye just because I'm so excited. Not because of like everything that's going to go on, but it's just the sentiments right now. It's just going to feel nice.
This is, I've said it before, but this is a good time. If you're not already an RSL fan, to jump on the bandwagon and be an RSL fan.
And not only that, to be an RSL bro.
To be an yes.
Be a bro.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Like
I
this
mean,
has been.
I mean, even if it's just 20 of you, we love it because that
We
means
love you.
we love you.
We love you. If you are not already following us on Threads or Instagram or even Twitter, hit us up over there at the RSL Bros. And if you're watching this video, hit the subscribe button as well too.
Well, if you're watching this video, tell a friend.
Tell a friend.
Tell a
Absolutely.
soccer fan friend.
do just that. And RSL Nation, we will see you guys on Saturday night. Can't wait. But until then, take care, guys. Peace.
Ciao.